Hi, it's Keith from Allen & Heath in the UK, and we're here with our friends at Guitar Center at the legendary Troubadour in West Hollywood, California, taking a look at our new digital mixer range, CQ. There's 3 models in the range. The CQ12T has got 10 microline inputs, half of these on combi, plus a stereo input. It's got 6 independent monitor outs, plus the main left-right on XLR, and it's got a 7-inch multi-touch screen. The 18T is really the flagship, so this has 16 microline inputs, plus the stereo input and the 6 monitor outputs. There's actually a secondary headphone output on the 18T, and there's a few more controls, which we'll get into. And then we have the 20B, which is very similar in spec to the 18T, but it's designed to be used on stage and controlled remotely only. With CQ, we really wanted to bring some of our digital FPGA processing that we developed for D-Live, Avantis, and SQ ranges, and shrink it down into a form factor that's more suitable for smaller gigs or use at home in a studio environment or for production, all kinds of applications where you only need just a few inputs. CQ is not just a mixer. It can also be used in a production environment or a studio as well. There are many options for recording and streaming audio digitally. It's also very useful in an AV environment, or for meetings, podcasts, any kind of speech application. The USB-B connection can be used in either stereo or multi-channel mode, and it's class compliant, so it can be hooked up to your Mac or PC, or to devices like phones and tablets. And then we have an SD card slot here. So you can use an SD card to record and playback multi-channel audio, which is great for capturing a rehearsal, capturing your live show, or just for virtual soundcheck. If you're installing CQ, all units can be rack-mounted with optional 19-inch rack ears. Or if you're traveling around with your CQ, there are also cases available. We really wanted to create something that was suitable for professional and technical, as well as non-technical users. So with CQ, we've enabled you to mix smarter with tools and assistants that help you during setup time and also throughout the show. Sound better with Allen & Heath preamps and our 96K digital processing, and to work faster with things like quick channels that allow you to adjust multiple parameters with just a few controls. CQ is great in many applications where you'd traditionally find analog mixers, but obviously with CQ, you have all the benefits of digital. So everything's fully recallable. You have scene and show storage. There are many recording options and digital hookups, and it can be controlled remotely from anywhere in the venue. If you've used an analog mixer before, there will be some similarities here. So there's still individual channels with a signal flow running top to bottom, but instead of only having a PEQ, as is common in most analog desks, you also get a gate and a compressor on every individual channel. And if you do want faders, they're always a button press away, either on the hardware itself or if you're controlling it via the app. To control the processing on the touchscreen units, it's simply a case of moving through the screens, selecting a parameter and adjusting with this touchscreen rotary. The 12T and the 18T both have 3 soft keys, so these can be set up to do things like mute or tap tempos on your effects units. On the 18T, you also get 3 soft rotaries, which can be set up to control specific parameters, say a ratio on a compressor or the gain on a specific channel, or they can be used as smart rotaries that follow you around as you navigate through the mixer. So for example, if I go into a PEQ section, you can see the smart rotaries have now auto-assigned to control the parameters of the selected band. So I've got width control, frequency, and gain, and I can select through the bands and use the rotaries on each. And then if I jump to the compressor section, I'm now controlling ratio, threshold, and gain. So we've really spent a lot of time and effort on making sure that the UI on the CQ is as intuitive as possible. So whether you're a technical or a non-technical user, it should be very easy to use. For remote control or wireless control, all units feature a built-in network port, so you can connect up a router or access point, or you can actually connect up a computer directly. And then the 18T and the 20B also feature dual-band auto-channel Wi-Fi built in. So you see these antennas here. There are 2 free apps for CQ. There's CQ Mixpad, which you can see here. This is available on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC, and it very closely matches what you're seeing on the screen, so you're not having to learn two completely different things. CQ Mixpad offers full control of every aspect of the mixer, so it allows you to remotely control it from anywhere within the venue, which really helps if you're dealing with funny nodes in a room, or if you're just leaving the mixer on the stage and needing to control it from within the crowd. CQ for You is a personal monitoring app which is designed to allow the musician to control the levels for just their mix. You can connect up to 6 of these alongside the Mixpad connections, meaning the whole band can hear exactly what they need to hear. Earlier, I mentioned mixing smarter with some tools and assistants built in, so let's have a look at those individually. The first of these is the Gain Assistant, which has 2 parts to it. The first of these is used during setup, and this is an auto set option. This can be used on individual inputs or on multiple inputs at once, and it will listen to the incoming signal and adjust the gain automatically. The second part is auto gain, which you can switch on and off for any channel at any time. And this looks at the signal, and if it's starting to get a little hot, will pull back the gain to prevent peaks. A great example of where this would come in handy is if during sound check, the guitarist or drummer or bassist, I'm not going to single anyone out, plays much louder during the show than they did during sound check, and this will just pull back that gain. So let's check out how the auto set feature with the Gain Assistant works. And it just so happens I have a trusty SM58 right here. So if I hit auto set and I start talking into the microphone, you'll see it's listening to the level that's coming in and it's adjusting the gain up. With the voice, this will take a second, as obviously there's lots of little peaks. Ba 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 ba, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, test, 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 check 1, 2. Pulled it back a little bit there at the end, and now it's happy with my level. And you'll see I've got a lovely, healthy input level. And if I hit OK, you'll see it's switched on auto gain for me automatically. I can do this on 1 channel at a time, or I can do it on multiple channels with multi-select. The second assistant we're going to look at is the Feedback Assistant, which is available on all outputs simultaneously, and it looks out for feedback frequencies and adds filters to get rid of them. The Feedback Assistant is available on all outputs simultaneously, and there's 16 filters available on each Feedback Assistant. Up to 12 of these filters can be fixed, and all of them can be live. The difference between the two being that the fixed ones are used at setup time and hold their position, and the live filters are applied and then recover automatically. With CQ, we have a really innovative new feature, which is quick channels. Quick channels can be used on any input, and they allow you to adjust all of the parameters and processing of the channel with just 1 or a few controls. Here we can see a quick channel for drums and percussion, where you can select from kick, snare, and tom, etc. down the side, and then just select this big knob and turn until it sounds better. It's as easy as that. If you do want to get a bit more in-depth, you can convert a quick channel to a complete channel at any time. And now we have access to all the individual parameters again. Jumping back to the config screen for a second, we find up here the AMM, or automatic mic mixer. This gain-sharing automatic mic mixer listens to the incoming signal and quickly and accurately adjusts levels of the channels to reduce background noise and improve clarity. And in the effects section, we have Effects Assist. This is available on many of the reverbs and delays, and it's looking at the incoming signal and making adjustments to prevent common problems. So maybe before you've used a reverb and you've added a few things in and suddenly your mix sounds very muddy, so this can help improve clarity. Or maybe your mix sounds too harsh, so this can smooth things out a little. It's really just making adjustments automatically in the back end so that you can concentrate on other aspects of the mix. While we're in the effects screen, let's take a look at some of the effects units. So there are 4 effects engines in both the 18T and 20B, and there are 2 effects engines available in the 12T. Any of these can be used for any combination of reverbs, delays, and modulators. They can be used in a shared mode, so with multiple inputs at a time, or they can be inserted on any input or output channel. Looking at some of the options we have, the first one we've got up here is Easy Verb. So this is an instrument-centric reverb where you choose an option and dial in the size. If we look at Space Verb, This is more about creating a space for the instruments and sounds to live in. So you could pick from arena or large room, small room, hall. And again, just dial in the decay time or size of the reverb. One really useful effects unit is the echo verb. This combines 3 effects in one. So you get an echo, a reverb with color, and a delay with tap tempo. And then we have tap tempo delays and beat delays that can be used by either tapping on the screen, adjusting the time manually, or set up to work with the soft keys. You'll also find things like flanges, choruses, and automatic double trackers in there. And of course, these don't take away from the processing you've got on every channel, including the gate, PQ, and compressor. Let's check out some of CQ's built-in effects with some pre-recorded drums. Obviously, I'm kind of biased, but I really think you're going to love CQ. So I highly encourage you to get your hands on one and have a play, and more importantly, have a listen. So if you want to learn more, head to your local GC, speak to one of their expert gear advisors, or visit guitarcenter.com.